impact in the game.
Here we are again for what should be the last time in the FA Cup for progression. It's Arsenal versus Spurs again. It's the North London derby again. Welcome to the fourth and final London derby of the season. North London derby, that is. We're doing this again. It's Spurs and Arsenal for a fourth time this year, and this is the definitive last one. Arsenal have won all their games against Spurs, bar one, of course, which was the second Premier League match that they drew 2-2 right at the end of a goal from Brent Johnson off a free kick from Son. Will Tottenham have another man sent off? It seems to be a very common feature in North London derbies this year, and even in the Women's Super League. We had two in our coverage of both Manchester United games with Spurs this year. And, I think Postecoglou will be running out of players. But Christian Romero does start, as does Pedro Porro, both men who have been sent off, I think in one case, in Romero's case, more than once. But look at the bench. The rumours were true. Antoine Griezmann has joined Spurs. Unbelievable scenes, Jeff. And that's with Timo Werner as well. So Spurs have a really good squad. So Postecoglou has actually done real wonders with the squad and what he's had to do with it. But unfortunately, unless they win this one, it's probably going to result in no trophies again, which has been having the Spurs fans grow rather restless, to be honest. A lot of Spurs fans say, Arsenal think they have it bad. We've not won a trophy, and the longer they have it. And obviously, that's probably following on from the Carabao Cup elimination that Arsenal had against Manchester City last time out, and the fact that questions probably will be asked. They can start to answer those questions with a win tonight. But it's against Spurs. So, the form book says they'll win rather comfortably, but you never know in football. Arsenal, as we said in the Carabao Cup fixture, did look rather slow. And it's a more traditional 11 from Arteta today. He's certainly learned his lesson, and he's brought the traditional people out of today. Isak tries to put it back in towards Saka. And of course, don't forget, one thing we forgot to mention is that Arsenal are suffering from two major injuries to Moreno and Gabriel Martinelli, one of which, for Martinelli, will be out for the rest of the season. Moreno will probably be back, probably with a month spare. But Arsenal have plenty of cover, so they won't miss him too much in that regard anyway. Well, Postecoglou, he has got to be pretty sick of this fixture because it always brings in bad kind of performances for his team. They're either wasteful with their shots or get one or at least two men sent off. It's kind of mad how many times. I think Christian Romero has been sent off in two of them, I think. And then Pedro was another one that got sent off on the same night. And here's Son, and already he's missed a shot. Such a common thing with Son. Son and London derbies. There seems to be some sort of maybe kind of glitch in Spurs programming for this game. that Son doesn't seem to do well until a certain point. It's really odd. But anyway, Arsenal have some questions to answer after their Carabao Cup loss to Manchester City. But they weren't just lost, they were blown out of the stadium. And that has not really happened a lot. They avoided the clean sheet thanks to Charlie Petito scoring right at the end to avoid it. But it might as well have happened that way. And Trossard into Isak with a flying header. And that is what they missed. Alexander Isak scoring a goal. And why did he not play in the Carabao Cup, people will ask. Maybe it's something to do with this fixture as well. It's very close. The cup games have been very close proximity this year, plus the league game against City. It was going to take a lot out of his team, to be fair. Flying header by Alexander Isak. He can score all sorts. This guy is an alien. And certainly, Arsenal will take an alien on their team. That is Alexander Isak. He's got to be at least his 40th for the season now. And that's a booking already. And that's Pedro Porro in the book again. Oh my goodness me. Surely we're not looking at another sending off, right? Well, we got Arsenal ahead by a goal to 0. And that's only going to be the start of this story. I think Trossard actually got hurt in that tackle that he suffered from Porro, actually. And here's Saka. Right back into Alexander Isak. And he didn't score a second. Oh my word. What a quick fire start from Arsenal that is. I'll take that. Well, Arteta will be watching Trossard closely. He seems to be hobbling a bit. And that's all they need with Moreno and Gabriel Martinelli on the injured list right now. They've got Sterling and Kai Havertz back. And here's Son. He's one-footed Gabriel, and he's finally scored. And finally, Son actually has a goal going to the back of the net. Now, he scored in the second Premier League fixture. But finally, he emphatically puts this ball in the back of the net. David Raya is nowhere near that. And that is what Postecoglou wants more of. That. Hopefully he'll get more of it today. Well, if Arsenal crash out of the FA Cup, then questions will be really asked of Arsenal, to be honest. They need to avoid this loss if they can. And that won't be a good way to go about it. Let's see if they respond. It looked such a rosy response initially when Isak scored the diving header, but now they've been hit right back where they started. And of course, there's no replays in the FA Cup anymore, so this will go to extra time and penalties. Very much a talking point over the course of the season. Here's Bentancur, who scored in the first London derby between these two. He scored a Worthy, if you remember. Hasn't scored since. Well, against Arsenal anyway. Saka gets tackled by Porro, I think. Oh no, it's Dalot is actually making another start today. The goal taken by Trossard. Well, this is it. This is the last derby we will see this season. It has to be. Spurs aren't in the Champions League, so Arsenal will avoid them there. I don't think Arsenal would go into the Europa League at any point now because they've already made the last 16. So this is the definitive last one. And Arsenal have won all bar one of them at the moment. Spurs have also had a sending off in all bar one of them, I think. Oh, Isak. He's spun his man out. Alexander Isak scores. Inevitable. 2-1 to Arsenal. And they hit straight back. And it's that man again. Alexander Isak. Currently on 26 or 27 league goals. He has a second today. He's got to have crossed about the 40 mark. He's probably heading towards 50. And that's obviously including all competitions this season. Better overall total than Ronaldo in that 1 year, I think. Well, the question will be asked, why did he not play in the Carabao Cup game? I think if Arsenal were to progress here tonight, maybe we'll know why. It's the only time this season that Mikel Arteta's rather load management on Saka and Isak in particular has counted against him. Here's Odegaard. And now Saka. And saved by Vicario. He did very well in the Carabao Cup fixture, I think. When Arsenal were just too strong on that day. On the second derby day in the league, Spurs scored a late equaliser that at one point seemed to shape the destination of the title. But then Chelsea beat Manchester City, and then Arsenal beat Manchester City. And the pendulum has now swung the other way. And if the form book is correct, it should stay that way for the rest of the season. But we'll have to see. And what's that? That's Skip having a talking to by the referee. And his teammate, which I believe is Bentancur, quite rightly is pulling him away. He does not want to send him off, although Skip has to be careful now. The referee will remember that challenge. Saka. I guess Spurs fans are going to be pretty sick of Arsenal, the Arsenal team these days, because they have inflicted misery on them in 90% of the games so far this season. Only one crown of comfort was a draw. They've not won any of them. We've had 4 of them this year. And that was after Arsenal emphatically knocked out the holders Manchester United. Dragusin almost lost that ball to Isak. The score coming in, it's Bristol City and is it Brimlock? Well, it's 1-0 to Bristol City, so at least we'll get one lower league side lower than maybe the Championship in this next draw. And Odegaard. And Saka comes in from an offside position. And let's give it. Well, the Tottenham Spurs fans, the Tottenham Hotspur fans singing out of hope rather than expectation at the moment. Desperate to get something on their North London rivals who have been almost impervious all season long, bar 2 or 3 matches. But of course, Postecoglou's Spurs side are making a real charge towards 4th place, though I think Liverpool have got a bit of a gap on them now. Arne Slot's done a very good job there. And Postecoglou does deserve credit, because at one point they were towards the bottom of the table in the first 3 to 5 weeks, but they've definitely turned it around. And Arne Slot has done a very respectable job with Liverpool as well. But almost no one has got near the top 3 this season. And Newcastle were boasted by City's loss, followed it up with a win of their own. And they're going to be a bit behind the leaders of the league, whoever that may be, but they've got a chance to get second off City. It's going to be tough, for sure. And here's Son with a header. The Spurs are certainly more up for this than the previous 2 fixtures. But then, probably not the previous 2. The second one in the third one in the Premier League. I mean, they looked up for it the whole in all of them, really. It's just Arsenal scored more goals in the majority of them. Can go to Trossard. So a bit of Ben White. Saka. And is that Poro again? Because if it is, he'll be going off. He was booked earlier. We are going to have another sending off, are we? It's Dallo. Oh, it's a straight red for Dallo because he wasn't booked. We do have a sending off. Another sending off for Postecoglou. And what is he? Does he even bother with his team talks, telling them not to get sent off? Because it doesn't matter. And we are going to see one of the first times, one of the biggest shocks in transfer history. Yes, Antoine Griezmann has joined Spurs and he comes in off the bench to replace Solomon now. The scenes, if he gets a goal, would be crazy. But Arsenal certainly have the ascendancy now because they are a man up on Spurs again. Odegaard. Tony Vicara on that one. Well, it was almost an inevitability, wasn't it? Almost every single London derby has had at least one man sent off. And now we've got another one. And it was Diogo Dallo of all people. It actually wasn't Paul or Christian Romero, so at least the difference will be nice. But for Spurs, they must be absolutely furious that their players just cannot keep their men on the pitch. It's not about keeping your discipline, it's just really about keeping them on the pitch at the moment. Here's Saka to inflict more misery. Isak surely tries and they both missed. Well, Saka made the keeper make a save anyway. Because every time a team goes down to 10 men, it gives Arsenal another gear. So, and you think Spurs and their players would have learned that by now, but apparently not. Well, here's Bentancur. Well, this first half has flown by. We've got 3 goals and a sending off for Spurs again. Trossard rises to the challenge. And here is Alexander Zinchenko of all people. And here he still is. Is he going to score? Yes, he is. What a goal by Alexander Zinchenko of all people. You won't hear the goal song because I don't think it's in the game. So that's unfortunate, but... Wow. North London derbies continue to throw up the most unpredictable of scenarios. Now we've got Alexander Zinchenko scoring from nowhere. I mean, this run was excellent, to be fair. He carved through the Tottenham defence like a knife through butter. Postecoglou just wants to get out of here. I don't blame him, to be honest. Spurs 1, Arsenal 3. And the most unlikely of scorers. Even the defenders are scoring now. Well, the City result cannot take away the fact that Arsenal, for about 90% of this season, have played the most beautiful football. And it shows again. Spurs must be wondering what they've got to do to get ahead. We buy a world-class strike on the level of Isak, and right now, I don't think there is anyone else on the level of Isak this season. There he is again with a header. And that's the end of a crazy first half, where the predictable has happened. We've got more goals, we've had a sending off for Spurs. Alex Isak has scored, nothing new there either. But the big shock, Alexander Zinchenko has actually scored his first goal of the season. Arsenal lead by 3-1. Welcome back to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This is becoming our home away from home, to be honest. It's either this or the Emirates. We've had our 4th North London derby of the season, and all the hallmarks from the previous ones have counted. Arsenal scoring goals, Spurs are getting men sent off, and Son and Isak have scored. I think the biggest surprise, as we said at the end of the first, Alexander Zinchenko has actually got his first Arsenal goal of the season. We won't hit the goal son because it's not in the game, which is rather unfortunate. But in any case, I probably wouldn't have heard that song the same way ever again anyway. Until hearing it the first time. Really just it came out of nowhere. I didn't even know it was a thing. until the Arsenal fans at the stadium that I was sitting on for our first game attendance that year actually started singing. I was like, okay, that's a thing. Right with a goal kick. Well, it was actually not a goal kick, it was a back pass, I think. But in any case, Jorginho keeps the ball well. Shinchenko, beautiful pass to Trossard. Alexander Isak is in the box. And he couldn't score. Well, it was a save with the keeper. And Saka was also there as well. Here is Trossard. And they are raining in the shots. Good save by Vicario, to be fair. Saka with the resulting corner. Son headers away. Here is Porro. And Bristol City are having a field day. They're 2 up in their match now. And here is Son. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Okay, we'll give Son that. That was absolutely wonderful. He's got stuck in the net. More ESFC 25 weirdness today. This is a beautiful goal from Son, to be fair. Pulled it back. Bang. That is a wonder goal. If Son could do this more often, it would really help. You know, it didn't even come off Saliba. That's actually a clean shot into the back of the net. David Raya has no chance. Well, it's 3-2. Spurs are certainly making this a game. Trossard finds Isak again. And Isak has got the ball and passes to Saka. And it didn't work on that one. Well, James Maddison is coming off. Well, actually, the skip's coming off, sorry, for James Maddison. Well, in the first game, Spurs were outclassed. In the second game, they were outclassed with 2 men sent off. In the third game, they had a man sent off and pulled out a draw. Today, they're making a match of it, but have a man sent off. Declan Rice. And that should be a foul on Declan Rice, but it's not. He's Son by himself. He's pretty isolated there. Play there from Saka. Now Odegaard. Arsenal certainly looking a lot more at it today than they did against City. What a ball by Odegaard, and Isak couldn't put that in. Even a footballer and attacker of his immense skill couldn't put that one in. He came close though. Isak has been thriving at Arsenal this season. The move was a breath of fresh air for him. Not that he wasn't enjoying his life at Newcastle. He's probably thriving there too. But here is just even more. He's found another level this year. Or this season, rather. Here is Antoine Griezmann. The Spurs still can't believe that. And Charlie Patino is going to be coming on for Jorginho. Patino is actually getting a good run of games lately. He's actually really shining very much in them. He scored against Manchester City last time out. Here's Son. Kulusevski with a shot, urged to shoot by Spurs fans. Goal kick to Isaac, and he fell over the momentum there for Christian Romero, being pressurising that. Well, next for Spurs will be in the Premier League against Manchester United. A bit of an old day grudge match that's probably lost its sparkle, along with a lot of what Manchester United have lost over the last few years. And this season doesn't really seem to be getting any better. In fact, it's probably getting worse. And they got to Isaac for 3. And Arsenal are now grabbing onto their advantage. And I think that is another hat-trick for Alexander Isak. And he was coolly as you like. He cannot miss these days, Alexander Isak. And even if he does miss one, he puts in the rest of them. There's another goal for Isak. 4 for Arsenal. They're certainly back to their best today. Scoring-wise, anyway. So it's 3 for Isak and 1 for Zinchenko, I believe. And that's 5 and 2 now for Isak. So that's at least, if you count the Carabao Cup goals he's gotten in the Champions League ones, that's at least 40, if not 50. And we have more drama here. Odegaard's been tackled again. And the card is a yellow for Dragusin. And he's probably lucky not to see red, because that was actually quite rash, to be fair. And I think that's probably what Arteta is asking at the moment. And that would just heap more misery on Postecoglou this season. He's not been able to keep his players in check. I don't think that's really down to him, most likely, but it's Saka. Well, certainly back amongst the goals today, Arsenal. 4 of them. They only got 1 last time out, which was probably their lowest goal count of the season. Apart from the nil they scored against Bournemouth, of course. Saka! And they certainly look a lot more at it today, Arsenal. Didn't really want to lose this one. A lot more pride on the line, I guess. It being a London derby and all. Pass from Griezmann, to be fair. James Maddison, players stopped. Free kick to Arsenal for some reason. Double substitution for Arsenal. Declan Rice is making way for Jack-Henry Francis. And Gabriel is going off. I think he played 90 minutes against Manchester City last time out. And I think it's Timber who replaced him. Here is Odegaard, and here is Saka. I couldn't make it work there, Saka. All it's missing is a Saka goal, and we've got another Isak Saka masterclass. We've got a lot of them this year. There's Antoine Griezmann. That's not a handball against Saka, surely. Huh. Well, last time Son had a free kick, it worked in a goal for Brent Johnson. Johnson's not on the pitch at the moment. This time Son puts the free kick into row B. Which David Raya will be very happy about. Griezmann with a shot. Spurs fans probably can't believe their luck landing him, but didn't really involve too much there, sadly. The goal kick. And the ball's bounced all the way to Trossard. Might as well pass to Isaac and score, but he chooses to go on himself. Well, I think it's fair to say that once this matchup is over, Postecoglou is definitely going to be glad about it. Never having to face this Arsenal side again until next season at the least. Falling to Saliba. Museski clears away. Isaac finding Trossard. Trossard getting pushed and tripped and trying to be persistent and chase after it, but he got blocked out. And it's a good clearance by Gray, I think. Well, 10 minutes to go and it's all kind of settled down here a bit. Oh, now almost fell to Son. That would have been almost a clear-cut goal. He's managed Bristol City having a ball. They're winning 3-0. I think that game might be over. Christian Romero hasn't even got in the book, let alone been sent off, so that's an achievement. It's Dallo that got sent to his marching orders instead. Griezmann, oh, good save from Raya, to be fair. Antonio Griezmann, an all-star striker in his own right. Not been at it today, but Raya, that was a good save. Madison. And another good save from David Raya. Well, Ben Davis is coming on for Dragusin. I think Ben Davis actually might be a new signing for Postecoglou. Because I don't think he played for Spurs before. Could be wrong about that though. And everyone is throwing themselves at the ball, and eventually it's ended up with Bukayo Saka. Which after beating of everyone, quite frankly, he does. Choosing not to spend that much energy. I think he was hoping Pedro Paulo would foul him and get sent off. Isaac, the strike, he's running after it. I'll tell you something, Alexander Isaac has really grown into a player that starts running everywhere. Like, not like a headless chook, as my good friend Mers RT13 would say, but he's been covering every blade of grass. And it's quite sensational, to be fair, because I'm not sure if Isaac was ever that kind of player before. Son, it hits Timber. Oof, did that hit his arm? That might have. Spurs might feel a bit hard done by. I wonder if we'll get a replay of that. That'd be right. That's a great kick. Oh, Saka. The touch was too heavy. There's Kuseski to Bentancur. Well, Arsenal certainly have provided some answers to some questions they probably would have had tonight. Progression in the FA Cup is exactly what they needed. And they need to win the next couple of league games to probably ease some pressure a little bit. The pressure will be on to win something from here after a bit of a subpar performance against City in the Carabao Cup. Here's Griezmann. Oh, he's at the post. But yeah, I think what this needs to happen now is there needs to be a trophy here, because the Carabao Cup probably would have been seen as a bit more important from Arsenal fans, considering they haven't won a trophy in 5 years. So we need one now to make sure that was just a blip in the road. Patino hits the post. He's been really playing well lately. I mean, this is a good start. This is certainly a good start. But Spurs once again just making it far too easy by getting a man sent off. And they've certainly put up a game here. Here's Son, and it's a good save from Raya, to be fair. Son, and here's Morero. And that'll be probably the last action of the game. And it's another win for Arsenal against Tottenham Hotspur today. And it's another cup elimination for Arsenal against Tottenham Hotspur today as well. Postecoglou will be glad that this is the last. He'll have to see of this juggernaut Arsenal side that has been well, just a four in this side all season, really. Here is Isak. Patino! Cara with a good save. He's going to go out for a corner. Arsenal could muster up one last chance here to inflict more misery on Postecoglou, to be fair. And very much like the previous games, Spurs do give them some sort of game, but they run it out of steam. I mean, the only time they didn't was in the Premier League second match, of course. Saliba makes something of this. No. And that's the end of the game. And cup progression, which was somewhat vital for Arsenal. And another hat-trick for a man in tremendous form. Alexander Isak, unplayable again. And scoring from everywhere and anywhere. And as he continues his meteoric season, he was, as GP in F1 would say, he was a metronome out there, mate. Arsenal 4, Spurs 2. So let's check out all the other scores from the fourth round. Preston 0, Brentford 1, Fulham 4, Lincoln 1. So no Premier League scalps so far. But Blackburn did get one, 2-1 against Everton. And Bristol Rovers lost to Stoke City by a goal to 0. Bournemouth 2, Wigan 1, Crystal Palace 2, QPR 3, so that's another scalp. Leeds 2, Southampton 1, that's another. And Derby 1, Wickham 2. So 3 Premier League scalps so far. Hull City 0, Chelsea 3 though. Luton Town 1, West Ham 2, Reading 1, Brighton 3. And Cardiff lost to Liverpool, I think. I couldn't see it. Aston Villa, Man City 2-1 there. Bristol City beating Bromley. Sheffield United Wednesday beating Exeter, and the other one there. Sorry, this is going too fast, but that means City get Sheffield Wednesday, QPR get Wickham, Bournemouth get Leeds United, and Arsenal get Chelsea, another Premier League match for them in a cup then. Stoke City get Bristol City, Blackburn Rovers get Fulham, Brentford get Brighton, and Liverpool have West Ham.